Alright, peace, Asia. Welcome. This is going to be the first session regarding your birth chart interpretation. So, in this session, we are going to dive deeper into your sun, moon, and I will also be bringing up your ascendant, and I'll be talking to you um, about the significance and importance of the ascendant. You feel me? So, ultimately, the reason the first session starts with the sun, moon, and ascendant is because these are aspects that deal with your character, in the sense of like your identity, your individuality, how you see yourself, and how you want others to see you. And that it really doesn't go further than that. The sun, moon, and ascendant deal with how you see yourself, but also how you wish others to see you, and in actuality, how others do go on to perceiving you. You feel what I'm saying? So, first things first, right? You have your sun in Leo in the ninth house. And I kind of already talked about how with the sun in the Leo in the ninth house, this produces immense strength in the sense of like when people see you, they have a feeling about you that deals with strength. And it does deal with the fact that you've overcome a tremendous amount, and you to this day, you feel me, you are most likely positive and optimistic and looking towards at least you try to look towards the positive side of things, because both Leo and then the ninth house, which is where you have your sun, both these houses are very optimistic and positive. And so with the sun being in the ninth house, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the previous reading, but it's of great importance that you integrate yourself with God one way or another. You feel what I'm saying? And so you also have like your sun opposing Jupiter, and so this sun opposition Jupiter does produce energies where you may have a bias or like a feeling of like, I don't even know if there's a God, because or even if there is a perception of a God, like it can be inclined towards feeling like you're dealing with a like like I should probably just articulate this the way that I feel I should. So it's like you may even feel like you're dealing with the evil God or something, because like so much shit has happened in your life, and you've experienced tremendous amounts of oppositions, and it's like when you look out into the world, you may see that certain people may have it easier than you, and it may seem that things come to them effortlessly, but when you attempt, you may find yourself confronted with all these obstacles and challenges. And so what this does is, like I said earlier, it does produce for an energy where there may be a conflict between the sun, which is the identity, and Jupiter, which deals with like higher perspectives, expansion, God, religions, things like that. So there may be an opposition between the sun and Jupiter. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas like your religious experiences made to you seem like they were more contradicting than uplifting and benefiting. But it's like with your sun being in the ninth house, there's a possibility that not that there is a possibility, but what happens here is that the religion becomes a great integrated part of the being. You feel what I'm saying? So it's of great value and tremendous importance to assess and analyze your religion, you feel me, and your beliefs and perspectives, and ground them, you feel what I'm saying, and really come at them from a place of beliefs that will serve you. Throw away certain perceptions and beliefs that are detrimental to you, that deal with God, like being like of evil in a way. It's like it may sound how it sounds, but I feel like this is my perspective maybe, but it's like in certain religions, the way that they paint God and everything, they make you think God is like this authoritarian who like is Saturn, right? Like a lot of the gods and religions, especially in like the Abrahamic religions, like that God is actually Saturn, right? Their God deals with justice, well, I shouldn't say justice. It deals with karma, punishing. You feel what I'm saying? Getting something that you want through hard work. You feel me? Where in reality, the energy of God is supposed to be Jupiterian, not Saturnian. And in reality, in our awareness of God, we're supposed to expand and grow into life, not constrict and retain, like constrict ourselves. Religion is supposed to be expansive, it's supposed to be Jupiterian, but a lot of the times it can be constricted, you know what I'm saying? And so you also have but yeah, I think, yeah, let me also bring this up. Like, you also have aside from your sun opposition moon, it's not even opposition, it's a square, which produces this energy where it's like there may be a tendency of like, expecting more of yourself than you can actually give to yourself, and this can play out as biting more than you can chew type of energy. You feel me? Where it's like, there is also an importance of learning to work with moderation and do things moderately rather than overdoing things. You feel me? And learning to operate from a plane where your actions, they're not based on, like, for instance, moon. You have like your moon square your Mars, which also produces this discordant energy where you can act emotionally. You feel me? And it's like, when emotions come into play, your impulses may not be backed by logic or Mercury. They may not be backed by thinking, but they're backed by some toxic emotional impulse. And we'll get into moon square. Yeah, moon square. Yeah, it's a square. Moon square your Mars in a bit. But right now, let's continue to focus on like the Sun Jupiter conjunction. So see, not conjunction, square. So see, Jupiter's polarity is Mercury. You feel me? And so you can also see that in the fact that Gemini and Virgo, these are the signs of Mercury. Pisces and Sagittarius, these are the signs of Jupiter, and they're natural opposites. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, when there is a conflict and a destructive energy dealing with Jupiter, what this means is that you need to learn to channel in mercurial energy. You feel me? You need to cultivate and further develop your ability to think, your ability to logicalize, and your ability to put out a plan. You feel me? A logical plan of execution. And so you have your Jupiter in the 6th house, which does indicate that, of course, you are a very observant and analytical person. And so with your Jupiter being in the 6th house, this is an indication that where there is a over extending of self and an over desiring to want to do more than you can, deals with your work. You feel me? You may overextend yourself in your jobs, and you may do way much more than what is needed of you. And so I'm not here to tell you that you need to do less. I'm more here to say that you need to learn to operate more so in moderation with your work. You feel me? And allow yourself not to take like responsibilities that may be beyond you. You feel what I'm saying? And kind of, even we can say, like, standing up for yourself when energies in the workplace are like draining you and squeezing you for every single drip of sauce you got. You feel what I'm saying? Like with the Sun Jupiter square, there can be like, the detriment here ultimately is just seeing your ability and your willpower beyond reality. You feel what I'm saying? And not fully being anchored in reality, but uptake. Like I said earlier, it's as simple as biting more than you can chew. And so, yeah, Jupiter through Pisces, right, deals with delusions, and it can even deal with like blind faith, and like through Sagittarius, it can be ungrounded optimism. Like optimism that's just bullshit, like it's retarded. And but yeah, there can be this energy even here with the sun moon opposition, my bad, sun Jupiter square, where it's like you may play a confidence game with others, where it's like you may overemphasize and over exaggerate your abilities, but in reality that can create more discord and disharmony and push people away, rather than you just being like real and allowing yourself to not even play a confidence game, but just do your best at with what you have. You know what I'm saying? But I think yeah, we'll move away from that. But ultimately, here, there's also an importance of like seeing and looking at your belief systems and the religions you went through, and understanding that there may have been a greater expectation from religion that you may have expected, and it may not have been real. You feel me? And there is a need for you to go in and construct your own paradigm, your own beliefs, and your own perceptions. You feel what I'm saying? And like, the greatest thing you can do is acquire knowledge of self. So tapping into astrology as you're doing is wonderful, but also learning how to, how do I put this? Learning how to know and understand yourself through understanding the universe. You feel what I'm saying? And finding that connection between you and life around you. You feel what I'm saying? Because with your placements, there's a very isolating energy. Like, your chart shows that you've gone through some traumatic experiences, especially with your with your parents. You feel me? In your home life, and there is with the moon conjunct Saturn aspect a great resentment that you may have towards one or both of your parents, or maybe one of them. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, we'll get into that, but it's all messy too. But anyways, you also have, hold on, let me pull up my notes, you feel me? So I know what it is. So yeah, you have your sun squaring your moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So with your sun squaring your moon, you know, this just highlights a great disharmonious, discordant internal energy. Like, inwardly, your atmosphere and your state of inertia is like toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, that's just what this portrays. And it's like, what is needed here is to learn to harmonize and unify the emotion and the will. You feel what I'm saying? The subconscious and the conscious mind. You feel what I'm saying? And so in astrology, the sun deals with the father, and the moon deals with the mother. And so that this harmonious internal energy, when you were a child, it may have expressed outwardly as your parents clashing with each other. And that's like, astrology doesn't make you, but you actually choose the astrological placements that most harmoniously flow and express who you are. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that. But it's like that discordant you may have experienced and witnessed, even between like your mother and your father, was reflective, and maybe we can even say, rather than saying reflective, was the channels of creating discord and disharmony internal of you. And so the unification of the emotion and the will, or the emotion and the will, has to deal with, first and foremost, not judging your emotions and not criticizing and being hard on yourself because you have these emotions. You know what I'm saying? But allowing yourself to feel your emotions and allowing your emotions to come to the surface. You know, come to the surface, and through using logic, unifying your will and your emotions. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of the emotions you have do deal a lot with the past experiences, heavy emotions, you know, maybe certain things that happened to you, being shut down. You feel me? Like with the moon conjuncting Saturn being the planet of restriction, limitation, resistance, there is this energy of like authorities that may have even expressed as like your parents, your father, maybe your mother, even possibly, of them like restricting and prohibiting you from allowing yourself to express yourself, and maybe belittling you and making you feel like you ain't nothing. You feel me? And so it's of importance to reconstruct your thoughts in the way that you think. You feel me? Paradigm. It's all about the paradigm. You feel me? And like the ninth house energy, it's all about perception and comprehension of life. So your comprehension and your perception of life is what you live today. So when you start to change your perception and comprehension of life, you make way for like new experiences and new energy to come into your life. But it's like, as long as you have that same paradigm, you feel me, it's gonna be the same thing, the same suffering, pain. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like yeah, I'll leave it at that. So yeah, but it's of importance though to get into introspection, to learn how to like meditate and calm your mind and just get into stillness and relaxation, because there's a lot of tension, negative friction between how you see yourself, the things you feel you're able to do versus how you feel about yourself. You feel what I'm saying? And they may not combine harmoniously. Like with the sun in Leo 9th house, you may be an ambitious person who has a desire to want to do great things, but then with the moon squaring the sun, it's like you don't feel it. Like your emotions hold you back, and they prohibit you from fully expressing yourself out into the world. So with this energy, there can be a tremendous amount of compromising for what you don't want, but because you think you don't have the ability to get it. So just compromising and settling, and this is like a formula for misery that you need to learn to move away from. And it's very possible to move away from it, you feel me, for real. But anyways, so now let's talk about like so we talked about your moon, we talked about Jupiter, and now we can talk about Mars, because Mars is also Mars also opposing, no, my bad, Mars also squaring your sun. So with the square between the Mars and the sun, this can produce a imbalance between the will and the desired intentions. You feel what I'm saying? So the sun is like your drive, you feel what I'm saying? But it's like your intentions, the things you intend to do, the things you put your energy on. But then it's like Mars is the execution of that thing, So you can think about it like this even, like the sun would be the king, right? Mars would be the king's army. You feel what I'm saying? And so within this analogy, I can explain it like this with the square. The king may not have the comprehension, understanding that like the army needs time like to like execute their strategy when they're out in the battlefield. But even when they're not in the battlefield, they need time to develop themselves. You feel me? They develop their ability to move logically and rationally. And so what happens here is the king may employ its army to a battle that they're not prepared for, and the king just may be force without strategy. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like with the square between the sun and the moon, there can be this imbalance between like understanding patience, understanding that with life things, you have to wait for things to come through, you feel me, and like you have to be strategic and logical, and failure is expected, and there can be a frustration when things don't come instantaneously or when you want them to. With this opposition here, a square here, ultimately the energy is all about learning to um, not just act out of impulse and not just do things and think that you can force it to happen through your will, but like understanding that you need a plan. You need to think before you act, you feel me? And you need to be strategic with it. You feel what I'm saying? And so right here, like with you having all of these squares to your sun, like what you need is gold. You feel what I'm saying? And so I'm an alchemist. You know, an alchemy is a branch of science that's connected to astrology. And so gold is the sun. You know, this is the metal of the sun. You feel what I'm saying? And so with you having all these aspects to your sun, it's like there's all this weight and pressure that's put upon your sun. And so your goal is tarnished. Your self-perception is tarnished. Your self-value and self-worth becomes tarnished. And it's like, in reality, we are all valuable. And it's like in life, we go through a lot of, when you awaken and you're on your journey of evolution, a lot of it is just unlearning what you were taught, you feel me? So it's not that you're unworthy, it's that you have all of these surfaces, all of these layers of like dirt, you feel what I'm saying, that are like prohibiting you from perceiving your worthiness. And it's like once you learn to release, subtract, and cleanse, remove, then it's like what you're left with is this divine, powerful being, And so it's not that you aren't unworthy, but it's that the experiences you went through and the way you registered those experiences put you in a place where you are incapable of seeing your worth and seeing your value. You feel what I'm saying? But it's there. And it's like, with all of these energies within your chart, it's a tremendous important that you take accountability and responsibility for your well-being. Because, see, you also have Mars as your chart ruler, with you having Scorpio as your ascendant. Mars is the planet of strife. So the primary theme of your life is strife. But it's like, think about Mars as muscles, you feel me? Like, because I go to the gym every day, and I work out for like an hour. And it's like, that shit is not easy, it's hard, but because I work out, like, I have this nice body, you feel what I'm saying? And it's like, I even have this ability to command and demand my body to do things, that I may not like want to do. So there are tremendous powers that come from strife and courage, you feel me, and saying fuck it, I'm gonna do this shit, I don't give a fuck what the world has to say, and just doing it, you feel what I'm saying? So it's it's important, it's very important that you learn, not learn, but that you take accountability and you put down the victim mentality and pick up the hero mentality. Become your own hero, instead of feeling like someone is gonna come save you. Understand you need to learn to save yourself, you feel me? Like, you have Saturn in the 7th house, and it's like there is a like, and we'll get into Saturn in the 7th house truly deeply later. I feel like if I just say one thing, it won't do it justice. But it's like, ultimately with Saturn in the 7th house, there are tremendous restrictions and resistances that have to deal with your relationships and your partnerships, you feel what I'm saying? And yeah, but you will get deeper into that later, you feel me? But right now, like, because I need to cover all these other things, I don't really got the time. If I'm to use my time constructively, it wouldn't be wise for me to go into that right now, you feel what I'm saying? But anyways, but yes, that's like the Mars opposition. And now let's look into Saturn, you feel me? So you also have your sun squaring your Saturn. So with your sun squaring your Saturn, this energy, it kind of produces an energy where it's like your path to acquiring security may have been harder. Even material security, you feel me, and stability may have been harder than most people. You feel what I'm saying? And with this energy, it's like there's like this detriment when it comes to the self and how one perceives oneself. Oops. Hold on, give me a sec. Let me pick up my speaker. Yeah. So the detriment of self. So Saturn deals with one's abilities to discipline themselves, to rise to the occasion of responsibilities, you feel what I'm saying, and ground themselves and understand that these are my responsibilities and these are the things I have to take care of. These are the things I have to sacrifice for, etc., etc., etc. And so the sun deals with the will. And so there may be a disharmonious flow between the things you're willing to do to acquire security. You feel me? The things you're willing to do to acquire security. You feel what I'm saying? And so, like I said earlier, like with this placement, it's really just about understanding that within your life you have to learn how to become courageous. And so courage, right? It doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means acting regardless of fear. Acting regardless of fear. Like, you've gone through a lot of trauma, I can tell, with your chart, and especially like with the first house being in Scorpio. And Scorpio is a sign that, like, not only Scorpio but Saturn also tunes you to a place of fear. And so it's important for you to learn to cultivate courage within you. And so like with your sun, what you do to acquire mental and spiritual gold, and also wearing gold. Ooh. You feel me? Like even also like wearing gold and stuff like that, you feel what I'm saying, is like of value, you know, and importance. And in the sense of like cause gold and metals, like this is silver, you know, and the gold here, like it's like it's not like 24K gold, but it's like gold and copper and silver, you feel what I'm saying? But it's like metals, right? Metal, and this is right here is silver, you feel what I'm saying? And it's like, in my life experiences, being an alchemist, you know, meaning working with the metals, the crazy thing is, like, I'm always attracting metals to me, you feel me? Like, I'm always finding them, or people are giving them to me, like, yeah. And it's like, when they come to me, it's like in alignment too. And this is because the metals are a crystallization of the light, in the sense that gold is the sun's light when it comes down here and it crystallizes. Silver is the moon, you feel what I'm saying? Mercury is Mercury. Copper is Venus. With that being said, you should definitely get some copper, you feel me? Like, that would definitely tremendously benefit you, getting copper. And but yeah, I'll talk about the esoteric aspect of the metals as well. So when we're talking about gold, when we're talking about spiritual gold, specifically mental gold, you feel me? These are thoughts dealing with self-significance. So it's like of great importance to get into a space where you are like boosting yourself, you feel what I'm saying? But like putting yourself on a pedestal and kind of looking at learning to perceive yourself in more positive lights than negative lights. And when you do that, what happens is you attract mental gold to you. Mental gold is those thoughts that deal with self-significance and self-power and self-value and self-worth. You feel me? And this is not something that happens overnight. And also with you having all this Saturnian energy, it's important for you to learn to get comfortable with time and get comfortable with processes and understanding that things in life happen through a process, and you kind of just allowing yourself to work in processes, you feel what I'm saying? Work with the process and trust the process. It's important. You know, I'm not even gonna try to put this on. So yeah. So that's what you want to do, you feel me? You want to get into a habit where at least twice or once a day, like, you, of course, when you're starting off, you start off small, but then as you progress, you want to do it more and more and more. But you want to continuously bring to you, your unconscious mind and your conscious mind, the awareness of how you are a valuable person. You know, how if you are connected and intertwined with God, how you are down here doing God's work, you feel me? If you're like, if that's how you feel me? If you're working to help people and things like that, then, you know, just getting into energies where you're uplifting yourself and you're making, and you're bringing confidence, self-esteem are all gold. It's like esoteric gold, you feel me? And so it's important for you to learn to cultivate it, and cultivate it. And so this energy I'm talking about here, it has nothing to do with the outside world. It has everything to do with you and your inner being, you feel what I'm saying? And getting into a space where you learn that you don't have to do things outside of you. Ooh, I got a book I can send you too. It's an audio book. I think that will help you most definitely. But learning that, learning about your mind even, and learning the fact that, like, when it comes to your mind, right, you probably heard that your mind cannot differentiate between what is real and fake. And so learning to, you know the saying, fake it till you make it? It's deep, because it's crazy, because it's like, truly you can't really fake anything, in the sense that the moment where, like, you start to think you think wealthy, or the moment you start to think confident, you become it mentally and spiritually. And then the physical world has a buffering time between the spiritual and mental, so it takes time for that which is spiritual to come. But when something is manifested spiritually, it's only a matter of time before it manifests. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, that's pretty much your sun. And now let's look at your moon. So, like, your moon harmoniously is trining Venus, right? And so with your moon trining your Venus, like, although you've gone through all of these adversities and amounts of pain and suffering throughout your life, the moon trining Venus indicates that you have this flow and desire to want to be more positive than negative. It's like, it gives you an energy where, like, you have that ability, you feel me, to bring harmonious energies to yourself, harmonious feelings to yourself, you feel what I'm saying, over negative feelings. And so with this energy here also, this can be like wanting to be positive over negative, even not so much for your sake, but for the sake of others, you feel me? Like, there is an energy of, like, you may be more positive and harmonious with, like, your social setting and others than you are with yourself. But it's like, with this Venus trine the moon, it's of great importance for you to utilize those energies as, like, rallying forces, meaning like, expand it and really, really focus on it. And that's copper, which is Venus, which is like the social life, affections, pleasures, enjoying yourself, taking yourself out, you know, having those spa days when you're just, it's just you feel me? It's like of importance to do that. And so, like I said earlier, everything must first happen in the physical, I mean in the spiritual realm, before it can happen in the physical. And so, see, the energies of Venus displace the energies of Saturn. The energies of Saturn are fear, doubt, worry, like feeling like you're not going to be able to handle your responsibilities, feeling like you're not adequate, feeling like you're not good, feeling like, like authority expects so much more of you than you can handle. And so it's like, when you allow yourself to get into a space where you're thinking of love, where you're thinking of art, when you're thinking of music, it's like, when you're thinking of your friends, it's like at that time, like those thoughts do a good job of displacing your thoughts of responsibility. Um, and so, of course, it is of importance for you to learn to allow yourself to get harmony and peace through the Venetian energy, which I just explained. But it's like you want to use that as a conduit for you to be in a positive space where you can create from. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not like you just want to get there and stay there, but you want to get there, and then once you're there, most definitely, then you want to build. And I'll get more deeper into what I mean by build later. But build with thoughts, because before anything is physical, it's in the mind, So it's important that you learn the power of the mind. The power of the mind and its ability to mold and form things out into this existence. Because like Taurus is a really powerful manifestation energy. It's the first earth sign. It's the first time earth came into existence. So it's like powerful. And so you do have powerful abilities to manifest and draw things into your life. But those abilities are very dependent upon your mental ability, you feel me, your mind and everything like that. But yeah, so with Venus trining, hold on, let me see the houses and shit that it's in. So your Venus is in your Venus is in the 10th house. So with your Venus being in the 10th house, 10th house is the house of the career, you feel me? And like, so you have both Venus in the 10th house and Jupiter in the 6th house. So there are tremendous beneficial energies to you in the space of your work, in the space of like wealth, even acquiring money and establishing material security, you feel what I'm saying? So your career path and your business, if you're an entrepreneur, those are the paths which you should focus on, because they will help bring more harmony into your life, bring more like jovial, meaning Jupiterian people into your life through work and through your 10th house, which is career. But yeah, with this energy, it's good, but the end goal is to bring harmony back to your moon, which is your home life, which is your domestic life, which is your mind and your inner world. But it's like we have just identified that it's through Jupiter, and so Jupiter's in the 6th house, the house of service as well, feel me? So the more service, so it's like working, because that's what service is. Like that's what the 6th house also is, beyond just servicing others. But it's like you should most definitely get into spaces where you're helping and serving others for the sake of helping and serving others, and not for the sake of profiting. And it's like in turn that will help bring to you more positive, harmonious energies. And then we have Jupiter in the Jupiter in Taurus, so it's like, yeah, money. And so this shows with your Jupiter in Taurus that in time you will be materially you will get there, and there will be an expanse materially. But like with but it's like both Saturn and Jupiter are in Taurus. So Saturn restricts and it limits and it produces poverty. Meanwhile, Jupiter expands. And so we'll get more into that, because like I would need to really dive deep into what that all means to do it justice. You feel what I'm saying? But anyways, now let's look at your Mars, your Moon, and your Mars opposition. So I already talked about that essentially. So an opposition signifies a compromise of one energy or the other. You feel me? So this can be a compromising between like your emotions and your actions. You feel what I'm saying? In the sense that it may appear as if in order for you to go out and get what you want, you have to put your comfort and your emotions to the side. You feel what I'm saying? And in relationships, it can even play out as, okay, like the moon deals with emotional nourishment and emotional needs. Meanwhile, Mars deals with sex. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like with the moon Mars opposition, it can be even like attracting partners where it's like the sex may be great and you may be sexually satisfied, but then it's like they may not be able to emotionally nourish and take care of you the way you desire. Or they may be able to emotionally nourish and take care of you, but like the sex may not completely be there. And of course, like there's just a need to, it's a compromise really. But like this compromise also plays out in a manner of like when emotions, it's like when you are emotional, it seems like you have to compromise your actions and you may do things that are impulsive and not rooted in logic. But then it's like when you're in your emotions, you may not want to go out and do things. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like there's a need to learn to unify and bring those two energies of emotions and impulse through learning how to attain more self-control and be more disciplined. You feel what I'm saying? And understand how it is that by going out and doing these things of strife and hard work, how these things can go on to actually help you attain greater emotional security and emotional comfortability. You know, it's like when we're dealing with the mind, it's all about your attention and where your attention goes. Because where attention goes is where energy flows. You know, I'm pretty sure you heard that saying before. But yeah, where attention goes, energy flows. And it's like with all the energies in your chart, there's a need for us to like, for you specifically, to learn to redirect your energy so then they can start to flow more harmoniously rather than continue to flow in destructive ways. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, like that's the moon. That's the moon Saturn energy. My bad, not moon Saturn, moon Jupiter energy. Okay. It's like your Mars is in the first house though, so it's like with this opposition, it can be you having to compromise things that you want to do to like for the sake of your emotions, for the sake of your emotions. So maybe like in a relationship, like compromising your actions to satisfy a dynamic with a relationship, if that makes sense. So not doing certain things because it'll help the emotion flow better. So it can be kind of toxic. But anyways, we'll get deeper into Mars and all those other planets. But yeah, so pretty much one other thing to talk about. Like we pretty much talked about all that needs to be talked about with your sun and your moon. And so now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be looking into your ascendant. You feel me? So your ascendant is in Scorpio, and Mars, your ruling planet, your first house ruler, is in Scorpio in the first house as well. So Aries is like action, but physical action. Aries is like pressure through physical action, but then oof, man. that just thought crossed through my head. You feel me? I don't know why, but like just this flow of good positive energy just hit me right now. I hope I can share it with you. Yeah, for real. It was just a moment of appreciation. You feel what I'm saying? But Anyways, Mars. Yeah, Mars. So it's what Aries is. It's like physical action and physical pressure. You feel what I'm saying? But then Scorpio is internal action and internal pressure, emotional pressure. You feel what I'm saying? And so Scorpios have a ability to exert great amounts of pressure onto themselves, onto their environment, and onto others, but through their emotions. You feel what I'm saying? And so ultimately, you know, with Scorpio being your first house ruler, it's an indication that the struggle and the strife is not external, but it's internal, you know, because Scorpio is an internal sign. It's inclined towards isolation and being alone, you know, and feeling like they're not loved or taken care of. You feel what I'm saying? Like I guess I could have talked a little bit about the moon. Like the moon conjunction Saturn, it does produce this energy of inadequacy, this energy of self-hatred. You feel what I'm saying? Of like, that may have even stemmed from as a child having emotions of like, thinking your parents don't care about you, they don't want you, they don't love you. You feel me? And so that making you within like not having love, and so not loving yourself. And so one thing of importance is to learn to love self. And like I said earlier, the sun, learn to cultivate gold. Start wearing colors of orange, you feel me? Because orange is the color of the sun. Start to go out in the sun a little bit more. Like, they lied to us when they said that they lied when they said that the sun will give you cancer. The sun will not give you cancer, but if your diet is cancerous, the sun will only accelerate the production of your cancer. Because what the sun is it's the planet of power, you know, and it gives power. That's what it does. It gives power, and it's not positive nor negative, you know, it just gives power. And so for me, like, because I do a lot of manifestation, you feel what I'm saying? And it's like, in order for me to manifest, I need to plug into a source, you know. And so what I do is I do breath work, you feel me? I sun gaze, I sit out in the sun, I ground myself. All these things bring me energy, and they bring me power, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I kid you not, it's crazy. Like, yesterday I was tired, but I had work I needed to do, so I went out and I sat out in the sun, and I had my back against a tree, and I had my feet on the earth. And so it's a fact scientifically that the earth is emitting ions, you know, electricity, energy. And when you have your feet, the soles of your feet on the floor, you absorb it. You feel what I'm saying? And like the tree, it's rooted deep into the earth, so it's pulling in more dense, and like, when I say dense, like rich, it's pulling in more rich energy. You feel me? So that's why I like to have my back against a tree. You feel what I'm saying? To pull that energy. And so doing things like this tremendously are gonna help you bring more life into your being. You feel what I'm saying? Connecting with nature for real. Like, when you plug yourself into nature, you plug yourself into a power source. It's like, as long as you're unplugged, you don't have that power source. And the ugly truth is, there is an oppressive energy on this planet that doesn't want humans to raise their potential. Because we can really all be okay and have like so much love and fun if certain things were just changed. Like the school industry, you feel what I'm saying? Like that industry, like the education industry, it's all fucked up and it's all bad, especially K through 12, you know, the children, because the powers of repression know that if they can control the children, they can control the world, because the children are the future, you know. But yeah, you know, so it's like, it's a lot that we don't know that we could know, and it's all about education. It's all about educating yourself, because education is power. You feel what I'm saying? For real, I think I began with this video by talking about your sun in the 9th house and the importance of education, but spiritual education and comprehension of life and reality. And that's a fact, you feel what I'm saying? It's important for you to acquire and learn and attain that information. But anyways, yeah, so understand that you need to get in your spiritual bag. Like, with that ascendant in Scorpio, this makes you very like spiritually inclined, very sensitive to energy, very attuned and aware to the unseen and the unknown. You have abilities to pick up on people's energies and intentions, you feel what I'm saying? But it's like, because Scorpio is emotion, you need to learn how to work with your emotions rather than being worked by your emotions. And working with your emotions, look, when you get into alchemy and manifestation and you learn how to, like, Scorpio is intense emotion. Scorpio deals with desires, you feel me? I desire is Scorpio's thought trend. So it's like, the more you can learn and understand about desire, the better. Like, there's this book, right? It's called Think and Grow Rich. And in that book, it just talks about desire. And the issue with books is, you can't expect to just read one book and have it change your life. Because what works for me is not going to work for you. And what worked for that dude is not going to work for another dude. You feel what I'm saying? In the sense that we all have to go into life and create our own, like sauce. You feel what I'm saying? Our own recipe to success. And we have to tap into different various books. Like, I've tapped into so many different books, and in a sense they were all saying the same thing, but it was because they were saying it in different ways that really helped me comprehend it. You feel me? But it's of importance because like, people think, like, they'll read a book and then they'll be like, oh, this is bullshit because my life didn't change. But it's like, it's not the book that's going to change your life. It's you applying that knowledge and applying other knowledges. Because sometimes, like, you may need to read a book, but then you may need to read another book. You feel me? And it's like, I'm talking about reading books, and like, our attention span is fucked up. It's so short. Luckily, we have audiobooks. You feel what I'm saying? Luckily, we have audiobooks. But for real, you need to learn to educate yourself and learn, like, seriously, 100%. But yeah, you know, so with the Scorpio energy, like I said earlier, it's all about emotions and learning to channel your emotions and learning to utilize the intense emotions you feel to create, you know. In actuality, Scorpio is a very magnetic sign, you know, it's a very creative sign. Like, Scorpio rules with the sex organs, you feel what I'm saying? And the sex organs, they're the most sensitive. Like, they have the most nerve ends on them, like, very sensitive, you feel what I'm saying? And it's Scorpio, right? Scorpio is the sex organs. Like, that's why it's concealed, it's hidden, you feel me? It's taboo, but it's powerful as fuck. Like, it has the ability to create life, you feel what I'm saying? And so what's important is for you to get to know, like, the hidden aspects of yourself, the more intricate aspects of yourself, you feel what I'm saying? And Ascendant in Scorpio dives deep into the importance of learning, yeah, to introspect and go within your past and do your healing. See, Scorpio is a surgeon, you know, it deals with surgery. It just deals with healing as well. And so these individuals can be good healers, you know, and if they're inclined towards a path of surgeonism, they would be good at it too. They may not be so faint around blood, you feel me, or gore or anything like that. And so with that being said, what you need to do is do surgery upon yourself. I'm talking mental and spiritual surgery, and learn to remove and get into shadow work and all these different things, you feel me? But yeah, so like I said, I do these readings session by session, and the reason why I do them, because this way I love it, because I can go deep and I can truly give you valuable information, you feel me? But whereas if I just did all of your birth chart, if I did all of your birth chart right now, I would have missed out certain information that you would have benefited from. But yeah, you know, so this is the first session, and like I said, every session is only $30. So within the next session, we will be looking into your inner planets. So we'll be looking at Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. So in order, we'll be looking at Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. You feel me? My bad, I like to mess with the focus. But anyways, yeah, I hope that you found this reading to be of value, and I hope that it assisted you 100%. And I hope that I get to see you again, and I get to dive deeper into your chart, you feel me, and help you gain a better understanding and awareness of your chart, you feel what I'm saying. Best of wishes, best of luck. I hope that you experience great transformation and growth within your life, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, you feel what I'm saying. Yeah, alright, peace, namaste.